thank everyone in Colorado, especially the WGHL director, Hannah. You treated us like family during this emotional roller coaster.
1 week after a deadly crash on I-70 in Clear Creek County, the Santa Clarita Lady Flyers have returned home to California. The youth hockey team was forever changed last week when a snowplow driver lost control and hit a van carrying members of the Lady Flyers. A father of one of the players died. A mom on the team and her 3 kids were also in that van. And tonight we're hearing their story of survival. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Christensen.
And I'm Kyle Clark. 1 week after that crash, a husband and father waits on his wife's release from the hospital. 9 News reporter Colton Chavez joins us after speaking with him. Colton.
Yeah, Kyle, for Jason Greenwald, the fight to get his children back home is over. All 3 have been treated and released from the hospital, but tonight his wife remains in the intensive care unit right here in Colorado.
Just trying to get back into some normalcy for a little bit until we get mom back home.
Brenda Greenwald is a California hockey mom.
My wife was usually the one dealing with hockey stuff, and
her husband Jason says what should have been another weekend traveling with her daughter's hockey team turned deadly when the team van was involved in a crash on I-70.
You get that call, you pick up the phone, you know it's out of state.
Brenda was taken to the ICU for multiple injuries. Her 3 children, ages 9, 11, and 13, were also injured in the crash. The 11-year-old had to be airlifted.
By just dumb luck, a good family friend, coworker, boss lives outside of Denver. He sat with a couple of my kids at a hospital until my father-in-law flew out first. He was able to get to my other son, who was flown to Children's Hospital.
A week later, the kids have been released, but their mother is still in Colorado.
She's doing a lot better. She's mentally, she's coming around and just trying to get her healthy enough to be released out of the ICU so she can move into recovery.
As Brenda fights to come home, the hockey community that brought them together is now lifting them up.
And that goes for even the community in Colorado and other states.
Life changed in an instant for this hockey family. Now they're learning to cherish every moment they have together.
You know, we were flying home next to there was a couple sitting next to us with 2 small babies. I told the dad, I was like, just enjoy every minute of it, because in a blink of an eye, they're grown or it can be taken away from you.
For now, Jason remains home with his 3 children as they recover. He says it's that hockey community support that's helping them get by. Colton Chavez, 9 News.
Just another day with no coat required. We're still waiting for winter here. The temps got into the mid-60s.
It's unnatural day after day, Kathy.
It is, and you were talking about using the AC today on the drive-in.
Yeah, I mean, when you're sitting there and stuck in traffic, you can't get a breeze. You're just
the
like,
sun?
I'm baking here in a vehicle. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just feels very strange. Yes, we will have to get used to this pattern for the next few days, but there are some changes coming next week. 65 degrees, that is well above the average of 44. There were some 70s on the map today in southeastern Colorado. Beautiful night out there. That moon is rising over the city. Good travel weather. That's one piece of good news for outdoor activities, getting into the mountains, getting ready for that Super Bowl Sunday party. No travel issues. Temperatures 24 hours ago were a whole lot cooler than they are now. We're some 5 to 10 degrees warmer than we were than 10 o'clock last night. Winds are light, a good piece of news also in terms of elevated fire danger. And we are tracking a little weather system to the south. Counterclockwise flow may lift a few high and mid-level clouds in tomorrow. No rain or snow for the state, but I'm watching it for later in the weekend. We'll stay above freezing overnight and at the bus stop. And weather headlines include above average temperatures through Monday. We will be talking about fire danger at some point, but we also might be talking about snow.
Tonight, CBI issued an endangered missing persons alert for 2 girls out of Brighton. Authorities are looking for 12-year-old Brianna Rivas Alvarez and 13-year-old Sophie Rojas Ramos. They were last seen about 8 Tuesday morning on Jessup Street near the intersection with South 8th Avenue. Investigators say the girls may be with unknown Hispanic males. They are concerned for their safety. If you know where they are or you see them, call 911 or the Brighton Police Department.
Today, protesters gathered in Boulder to push CU for change on 2 different issues, immigrant rights and collective bargaining. At one rally, protesters called on the university to cancel its contract with an airline used by ICE for deportations. At a Regents meeting, they demanded an end to ICE doing business with Key Lime Air. That airline flies the CU basketball team around the country, and it's used by ICE for deportation flights. Last month, Denver City Council voted against a lease for Key Lime Air because of its work with ICE. Today, protesters called on the CU Regents to follow Denver's lead.
As long as CU Boulder continues to contract with Key Lime, we are all complicit in the sins of ICE.
Maybe it seems to you that it is an ethical policy of neutrality to be disinterested in the other business of your vendors. You need to understand that neutrality is not how it looks to the general public.
CU put out a statement saying that in most cases, it does not require contracted companies like Key Lime to disclose their business partners. We reached out to the airline a few times today and have yet to hear back. A second protest nearby in Boulder called on CU to expand collective bargaining rights. Last month, 2 CU regents announced plans for a new policy that, if approved, would extend collective bargaining rights to CU faculty, staff, and student employees. As that's been debated, a group called United Campus Workers Colorado is pressing regents to support the plan.
The right to collectively bargain lets us actually sit at the table with the university and negotiate for things that we need, like raises for cost of living, stipend increases for our students, and grievance processes and all kinds of improved working conditions.
Collective bargaining policy is expected to be formally introduced in March, the vote by regents in June.
Students at CU Boulder will no longer have email for life. The school is eliminating the alumni program so the money can be directed elsewhere. Officials say maintaining alumni email accounts is no longer sustainable because of rising licensing costs, declining usage, significant security risks from inactive accounts, and evolving compliance requirements. CU Boulder will end the service for existing alumni on August 31st of this year. New graduates will get to keep their colorado.edu email account for 1 year following graduation. The school says more information will be provided at that time. This winter's really warm weather has taken a toll on our snowpack, of course, and the ski conditions around our state. But that same stretch of mild weather is giving a boost to some other industries.
I mean, because Coloradans are going to be outside if they can be. 9 News reporter Rhea Jaws along. And Rhea, sounds weird to say in Colorado, but great winter for golf.
Great winter for golf, and today marks the start of a 5-day streak with 60-degree-plus weather. I got that from our meteorologist, Chris Bianchi, and because of that, golf courses in the Denver metro area are saying they're getting booked out. Bluebird days usually belong to the slopes, but right now they're landing on the greens in Golden.
I've been at Fossil Trace for 19 years, so I've seen a lot of summers and winters come and go. It's been a few years since we've been open any days in February.
Head pro at Fossil Trace Golf Club, Adam Finch, says this winter the tee sheets are full and the tee shirts are everywhere.
We've got golfers booked each and every day for this next coming week.
Great for tee times, but rough on the turf.
What we usually like to see is that layer of snow to insulate it, just to get us to those spring, warm, growing months.
Over at Denver golf courses, off-season is looking more like peak season.
The time period we normally call our off-season, so like November through present day, we're up about 70% in rounds and about 90% in cart use.
Pam Smith is the director of agronomy for the city and county of Denver, basically the person in charge of making sure the grass on the golf courses stays healthy. She said the combination of heavy traffic and dry conditions forced them to limit cart use on their courses.
This isn't unusual to pull carts from a golf course. It's unusual to have it for this long a period of time. This year is extraordinarily different. We've seen no weather pattern bringing us snow.
The problem with playing golf on dormant grass is the fact that it can't recover.
Scott Ellis, superintendent at Wellshire Golf Course, says there's no playbook for a winter like this in Colorado.
You know, it's great for the golfers and it's great for the customers, but it does unfortunately sometimes make us think about the future, and specifically the future of this season.
We just cross our fingers that there's no sort of downside to it on the back end.
Even the winners of this warm winter are still praying for powder.
Just like the ski industry is hoping for snow, we're hoping for snow to recharge the reservoirs.
We might get an actual winter with a lot of snow and things will bounce back and go back to normal. We're hoping for that.
City Park Golf Course, the one we're at right now, and other Denver golf courses do have cart restrictions once again. And if you are planning on heading out to the greens this week or this weekend, you might want to check the golf course's website just to see what the conditions are, but it is supposed to be beautiful this week and through this weekend. I know that I'm definitely thinking about heading out there. Reporting live in Denver, Ria Jha, 9 News.
The geography of the 2026 Winter Games presents a security challenge.
Yeah, because these Olympics are the most widespread ever. They're all over the place. Our man in Milan, Matt Renew, is covering the games for us. Oh, he's got the umbrella again. Okay. Matt, most Olympics have large areas to deal with, but this time around, they got all kinds of small areas all over northern Italy.
You're right, Kim and Kyle. This is a very spread out Olympics. There are 25 venues in Milan, Cortina, Verona, all over northern Italy. There's no real Olympic village, but several, 6 athlete villages. So the Italian army and several police departments are going to be more spread out, but they'll be able to focus their security into smaller pockets.
Hosting the Olympics is never easy.
Widespread games is also, I think, it's a very interesting concept.
But 2026 Milan Cortina Olympic CEO Andre Veneer says hosting the most spread out Olympics in history brings security challenges unlike most.
Absolutely, and it's a matter of manpower in the end, and how many people you are able to deploy.
With security needed in the busy city of Milan.
Milano is Milan, and we know that is a complex city, it's a large city, but the city used to, very large events every year.
And also in the mountain town of Cortina, along with several other mountain villages spread out across northern Italy.
All police forces will be involved, local, regional, national. The Ministry of Defense, so we will have the Army.
Coordinating transportation and communication across more than 13,000 square miles.
The mountain villages, the fact they're all spread, it's easier to control one separate from the others. And of course, there is an overall view on security through the entire 22,000 square kilometers.
While putting the focus on smaller areas.
And this makes it somewhat easier within the difficulties of a large perimeter.
With an Olympic-sized security plan over 3 weeks during the Winter Games.
Of course, security is an important responsibility.
Always a big responsibility at any Olympics, and just like the Summer Olympics that were just in Paris, they're using AI in these Olympics to help detect suspicious packages or unexpected crowd movements throughout these areas that they can respond to. They also have a robust cybersecurity plan to deal with any cyber threats. Reporting from the 2026 Winter Olympics, I'm Matt Renew, 9 News. Kyle, Kim, I can tell you when we first got here about a week and a half ago, you couldn't really see any security presence. But as we ramp up now to today, opening ceremony, it is everywhere. And over the past several days, there's barely been a live shot I've been able to do without a police officer or someone from the Army coming up and asking me what I'm doing, which is hard to do when you don't speak Italian.
Oh, yeah. What are you saying?
I just say TV, and that seems to usually do it. And we've got credentials, and so you bring those out. But yeah,
Sure.
it's robust now.
Yeah, you also have a very trustworthy face. I'm sure that helps as well. Yeah, that face and saying TV. Yeah,
TV.
all right.
Man in Milan.
Yeah, man in Milan. Matt Renew, thank you.